Welcome into the Eric Zane Show Podcast, the daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from the Impact Power Sports Studio. All right. I got this freaking burn on my arm. I don't know if you can definitely see it. That is a legit second-degree burn. It's blistering right now. The whole thing isn't blistered. It's like in between first and second degree burn. I was walking in here to start the show. I've got 30 seconds before I start talking on Q100, my very first segment where I'm going to talk and say, hey, I'm new. Let's do our thing. Let's have some fun. And then, my God, this searing pain. My throat had been a little tender, so I've been drinking this tea, and it's boiling hot. And oh my God. So I'm doing that first segment with my skin is molten. I spent the show with like an ice pack on, and then it was like one of those gel packs, and it started to warm up. It wasn't cold enough, so I had to go refreeze it. And then in the meantime, I grabbed a frozen steak, and put it right on there. And that's how I made it through. That was the first show on Q100 with this first to second degree burn on my arm. And now I'm behaving like a bitch. Let me just give you the background of from Friday till right now. Because when I finished podcasting Friday, I skipped the Patreon because I had this dude, JJ, from Q100, and Dave Grant, legendary name from the radio days. He is the chief engineer of Cumulus, and we hired him, Q100 did, to come in here and do this. Now, the internet that I had on here for this show, remember how before it would drop out from time to time? Well, that will never happen again unless if there's an internet outage. Because the setup that I had here was much different than what I have today. Dave went ahead, and I'm hoping not to get too bogged down in the minutia here. So he took the existing telephone lines and did some type of wizardry on it and made it so the internet goes into the modem and he went into the phone line. And then the phone line sends the internet signal through the house, and the next thing I know, it's coming in here. Before this will make sense to some of you, because I pay for gig speed. I'm supposed to have gig speed, download speed, and very fast upload speed. My download speed was at like 25 megs. That's ridiculous. You pay for a gig, but you're getting 25 megs. And he goes to some site where it like measures your speed. It's like there's actually a speedometer on the screen, and it's just kind of bouncing along at 20. Horrible. He goes, that's not fast enough. We got to fix that. So he does this thing, and then he does the same test, and the speedometer goes. It goes way over, and it's buried. It's at 980 megs. He goes, that's more like it. That's more like it. Molly says speed test. That's what it was, speed test. And then my upload speeds are through the roof. I need that. In order to do this. And then so these two wizards show up with all this fucking crazy shit that I don't know what the hell this all is. I'm looking at various pieces of equipment in order to make this room a radio station. There was a conversation because we were having an internet issue, and Anthony the Brain is another engineer. He's up north. So you got Anthony the Brain, you got Grant, and you got JJ. The Brain has questions about the internet. And he goes, AZ, you need to get Comcast on the line. They go, this is going to be a disaster. So we get some foreign speaking person, and it's a level 1 tech, as I understand it. And we're looking for like level 8 to answer this question. It ended up working itself out. But this was such a pain in the ass because for a significant time, you got the person from Comcast saying, okay, will you please check to see if the cable is tight in the modem? And we're like, yeah, it's fine. That's not our problem. We're trying. And this person's reading from a tech book. It was really bad. Chris says, did you unplug the modem? Yeah, that's what they said to do. They go, you must unplug the modem and we will do a test to determine if the activity on that. We said, yeah. We did that. That's not what we want to know about. And it was terrible. So we ended up getting all that worked out. Friday turns into Saturday. And then by midday Saturday, we were in business. And we're doing like tests on shit. And so part of my day Saturday, JJ and I are going over like how the automation works. Now the automation, of course, the music is all on hard drives, and figuring out how we do this, and the technical side, it's without getting too bogged down in the minutia of it. But when I did the show today, I was in here, and a lot of the times, at least for the first hour and a half, JJ was on the phone. Okay, Eric, you're going to hit this, you're going to hit this, and then you're going to hit that, and then you're going to talk. You're on. And I'm like, okay. And so my arms weeping, pus, doing the show. There's like a text line that I can communicate with the audience, which if you listened, you heard that. That's probably a great way to reach me while I'm doing the show. And I even played a couple of requests from audience members. It's really incredible that we have that luxury. A lot of the music, I haven't even heard of those songs. I've heard of the artists, but a lot of the music I just hadn't heard. It's the first time I was hearing those songs. And that's how they built the radio station. They actually make it that interesting. So, I'm just excited. I'm just excited to be part of it. Doing my thing. You're not going to get a lot. Like I said to you, it's the station was built on the music library. That is the number one focus of the radio station. I am an accessory to the crime, at least for now. And it's important not to lose sight of that. But either way, I don't care. I just enjoyed myself. I liked that this all came together the way it did. And just like that, we've basically got a radio station here. Fucking unbelievable. I see a lot of comments about some of the music. The Iron Maiden song, I know, was a big hit for some of you. Somebody requested a Clutch song, which I didn't get to it, but I also have the luxury of being able to just open up my Spotify and playing whatever the hell you ask. It's that involved. When we got started, just as the 5 o'clock hour was winding down, I hadn't yet begun. I've talked to you about some of these segues that are way fucking out of left field. And this one, they actually said, I was talking to JJ. He goes, yeah, if you see that, don't do it. But the Q played Fast Car by Tracy Chapman into The Wizard by Black Sabbath. That is what we call a segue from hell. Borculo Josh says, I could not get the Q100 app to work. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. It worked for everybody else. I also need to, I've got a little bit of an issue, not a big issue, but I don't know. I'm trying to find a workaround for this, but the radio station has a staff meeting on Mondays at 11. Okay, that's coming up. So they said, will you please attend the staff meeting? And I said, absolutely, of course. So what I'm going to do today is at 10:59 and 30 seconds. I'm going to pause today's podcast, do the staff meeting. Hopefully something ridiculous will happen. And then I will be back with you for the next hour of the show. Now, I don't want that to happen all the time, but I'm still trying to figure out the workaround. And I didn't really feel comfortable on day one saying, yeah, I'm not showing up to the staff meeting. Yeah, that's like Nick there. He's already trying to get me in trouble. He writes, tell them you are way too famous for staff meetings. Come on now. Tyler suggests I live stream the staff meeting. That's all I need. And Amy is encouraging him. No, I'm not going to live stream the staff meeting. Kenny says, the Q100 app worked fine for me, but it doesn't update the song that's playing. Yeah, I noticed that. There's also a hum on it. Like if there's silence, there's a hum. I will ask about that. I'm sure they're aware, and I'm sure they're trying to resolve the issue. But all in all, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. Again, we are not reinventing the wheel. I would consider what I do on this podcast to be a lot more challenging, frankly. When you only talk for a minute or two, I mean, seriously, how hard can it be? Just get your thoughts together, talk about whatever. I rely on a lot of the people that text into the show. A lot of them I don't know. Some of them I do. That is a big part of it. But and I feel good. I feel great right now. All I keep doing to motivate me is think back to show naysayer Rick from TC Paintball, who is not in the room right now, not in the chat room right now. You all remember it. Yeah, it's not going to work. In so many words is what he said. Who does that? Yeah, hey, I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to get started. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's a little weird. Yesterday was Dad's 90th birthday party. It was something else. We had just a great time. A lot of people packed into Charity Scam Mike's house. And Dad, a little bit, he gets a little foggy from time to time. And I had said to my kids, I go, look, you're going to be reintroduced. He sometimes forgets me. And you can't, try not to let that bother you. This is just part of the process. This is part of life. He definitely is aware that it's his birthday. He lost track of the actual age because Jackie, and I told her not to do this after she told me that she did it. She said, Papa, can you tell me how old you are? Now, afterwards, and he got it wrong. He said he was 60. I said, yeah, don't. I understand why you would do that, but don't ask him. Don't give him any quiz show stuff because he's got enough wits to know that he's going to struggle with that. So he's just guessing and hoping that he's right, and it makes him feel bad. Don't give him the third degree. Have conversations with him. If he leads the question, if he leads the discussion with some inquiry, you answer. Like I sat next to him. And Madison was across from me. And so it was my dad in the middle and Madison and I next to him. And he looks at us both and he says, now, are you two related? How do you two know each other? And I said, Dad, that is my sweet daughter, Madison. You know Madison. And he goes, yeah. And Madison said she almost started crying. I go, yeah, this is how it goes, and his hard drive kind of like erases every few minutes. So, But I shot a video of us singing happy birthday to that sweet old soul. Everybody had a great time. He took his finger, stuck it right in the cake. Got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time. And it was all good. All good. Enjoyed it. In the back of my mind, I was like, I was nervous, though. My brain wasn't totally into it because, there was a lot of unknown in the next 24 hours with the radio show. But now that I have it under my belt and we pretty much did it with really no major problems. There was a couple times when I had dead air. That was my fault. I hit a wrong button or something like that. And I was like, oh, God. Not too many meltdowns. I think there was just 2 or 3 where something went haywire. But that's it. All in all, I was doing the math on last week because it was a crazy thing. And I said to my wife, I need to stop saying yes to people. But I said yes to doing the huge show 2 months ago. Doing the huge show last week took a lot out of me because I would do this podcast and then you mix in doing sports and then doing the huge show, which that's a talk show. And I was burning it on both ends. It's an entirely different animal if I'm in here doing this podcast and then I do that radio show because I'm speaking for maybe 9 minutes tops during a 4-hour show. But doing the huge show, by Thursday, Friday, my throat was killing me. Really bad. And I did the math on what I did last week for amount of speaking time. Because every day I do this show, I'll do 2 hours here. And then, between 35 and 40 usually on the Patreon. So I did the math. And then I added up the minutes speaking on the huge show. I did an interview with Waylon. I did 2 Who Are These Broadcasters shows because Christian's gone this week, so we put one in the can. I totaled about 25 and a half hours of speaking, not counting sports. And sports, with all the high intensity trying to get the crowd fired up, stuff like that, it puts a lot of strain on my voice, and I'm not getting younger. And so then I could feel like my throat was starting to give out. So I'm doing the hockey game on Saturday, and I could only get it into second gear. And after each period, one of the staff members had to come out with a cup of hot tea, which has a remarkable soothing effect on my throat, just to be able to make it through. And then when I was talking at the game, where I would be really getting animated and vocal, I'm like, now here they are, your Grand Rapids Griffins. And it was all weak and horrible. So basically, my voice was aligning with my penis function, weak and flaccid. Which reminds me, I think I have to go see my urologist on Friday. I think that's happening Friday. Yes. Her name is Rachel. We have these horrible discussions about my crank. Hopefully get some more answers. I think ultimately I've got one of two things. Because I'm pretty sure that the medicine that they're giving me is helping me a bit. If I stop it though, and then I don't get if I don't take the medicine, I don't get the side effects. The side effects are lack of sex drive, and well, I talked about this. I have a ridiculously low amount of ammo in my yogurt cannon. It used to be like a fire hose. And now it's just a disaster. So if I say to her, look, I don't care for the side effects, I'm hoping she understands what I'm talking about. In my mind, she's going to say, oh, really? What side effects are you experiencing? Now, it's one thing to say it on this podcast. I can't see your face when I talk about decreased jizz production. I can't see you cringe and wince and go, Jesus. But if she's standing right in front of me and I have to tell her that my dick icing is at an all-time low and my sex drive is much less strong, that might be weird. So that's Friday. Add this to the list of things we are not going to talk about on the radio. Which, by the way, I'm incredibly nervous that what I'm doing here is going to somehow go out on the radio. But it's impossible. I actually unhooked everything. It actually can't happen. All right. I got a comment that says that some of the audience are feeling bad for Kenny. I guess something not so great is happening to Kenny. You're not feeling very well. Yeah, there was a long post made. You know what? I better not read this because that's from his Facebook page. So anyway, I hope you're feeling better, whatever is the matter. I think you're at the doctor's or a hospital, in fact. I know that. But I don't want to read it from your Facebook page because he banned me from his Facebook page. Because I think this was back to the Z-Speed days. I learned my lesson. So anyway, I hope you feel better, buddy. I'm sorry that you're under the weather. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, he says you can read it. It's in the fraudulent Fugs group. I can't read it word for word. I don't like to read things word for word. I like to kind of read them and then put it into my own words. But so I'll come back to that. I hope you feel better, buddy. All right. Where am I here? I got like 5 things going on. Okay. So that's what's up. That's the start of this next chapter of a radio show and then podcasting. It's been an absolute whirlwind. Thank you for checking out this show. For you folks on Facebook, X, and YouTube, I'm going to send you off. If you want the rest of the show, you have to go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, or download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live. A lot of people say, Easy, why do you stand with one leg in the air? I'm stretching. I'm stretching and trying to do like a little yoga strength movement. Because I sit so damn much during the day that sometimes this is what I have to do. As always, download the audio podcast wherever you download shows. Subscribe, rate, and review, please. And join me on Patreon, where Ben and I will be getting together this week. I'm not sure exactly what day yet. It's another Who Are These Zanes week. We'll be doing that. And then the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. I posted all those this weekend, too, the audio. Hope you enjoyed them. Always a good time. So thank you. And by the way, on Patreon, you got to sign up for 1 week free. And I see people are getting this, and I love it. That's what I want you to do. I want you to sign up for free. If you've never signed up for free, you get to sign up once for free. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Sign up for free. And then cancel it shortly thereafter. And then enjoy the 7 days. That's your test drive. That way, if you forget to cancel, you've already done it. And then you won't be charged. Some of you will be like, well, I really like this. I want more. Well, then just sign up. You just sign up again. That's all you do. That's the point of the free trial. patreon.com/Eric Zane. Facebook and Twitch. Brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Okay. And I'm on YouTube as well. Follow me on all my other platforms. I started posting shit to TikTok. Just these stupid videos I post of me looking at my hair or having you look at my hair. That's all I posted. And I get more people paying attention to those stupid videos than I do anything. How dumb is that? What I am, let's see, what am I on TikTok? I don't even know. At Eric Zane Show Podcast. Follow me on TikTok at Eric Zane Show Podcast. And if you would, download the Q100 Michigan app to hear my radio show Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10. The open and live stream of this podcast brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600. They can help you with any issue that you have with your vehicles. Make them your go-to place to get your vehicles serviced. ervines.com. ervines.com. 616-532-6600. They've got loaner cars so that when you get your vehicle repaired, you won't be in the lurch for finding out where you need to go or like how to get there. So call upon my friends at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Chris says, will you be posting your first Q100 show? I don't think so, unless they saved it. If they saved it, sure. I think eventually I will be doing that. There's all sorts of things we can do. I might even be able to go live on Patreon. Or Patreon, I could go live while I'm doing it. And then the music would be. But I want you to get the show on the Q100 app. That actually helps the radio station. And ultimately, that's what I'm looking to do. Megan says, I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Chris in Buffalo says, I'm a radio star now, so you Facebook people get effed. Sign up now on Twitch for the full experience. Are you quoting me? I have no idea. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. A radio star. Are you suggesting when I said goodbye to them? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the conversation. Okay. Thank you to A&E Heating and Cooling. Joe Martinez and the crew over there at A&E. 616-516-8579. It's 616-516-8579. Joe can help you with whatever you need HVAC-wise. Keep in mind that an AC tune-up is in your future. If you've never done this and you are in West Michigan, reach out to Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. The Tax Hobbit, the almighty Troy Ginzer at Tag Accounting. Call Troy to get your taxes done, 616-301-9516, or tagcpa.net is their website. Thank you to Troy. I'm on the hook for 20 large. Easy. Why is that? Let me explain this to you. So when it comes to healthcare.gov, I've talked to you many times about this, that if you keep your income at a certain level, you don't have to pay back the tax credit for healthcare.gov. So the way this works is when you sign up for your health insurance through the marketplace, you pay for a fraction of the policy. Let's say it's a $1,600 policy. You might pay for like $500 of it. That's actually what we did. And the rest of that, you're given a tax credit. And if your income stays at a certain spot, you don't have to pay that back. It's wonderful. However, if you're over it, you're fucked. And then all of that money that each month, you're on the hook for it. That's what happened to me. Because I took that money out of my retirement to pay for education, that counts as income. So that's the way it goes. It's set up beautifully for folks to make sure that they get their health insurance. But if you make too much, and I guess that's a great problem to have, even though it was through pulling it out of my savings to pay for education, that's what happened to Easy. It's kind of a bummer. But the way I looked at it is this. This is how I keep from losing my mind. I have one more year of education to pay for. And then I'm done. With the exception of if Madison gets married. All right. But the big three, I've got 3 of the big 4 done. And there's no signs that Madison's getting married anytime soon. I'll have 2 educations under our belts. 0 debt for either of those kids. How about that? That makes me so happy. And 1 wedding paid for. Once I'm done with this, then it's like, okay, I'll be 54 in July. Save your little pin dick off until you're old and withered. And then, and only then, will we be able to ride off into the sunset. I've got a plan. But until then, today, I'm on the hook for 20 large. Anyway, if it wasn't for tag accounting, I'd be in the weeds. Thank you so much to the Tax Hobbit. He can help you every step of the way, whether it's your personal return or your business return, your business tax, running your business for you. He takes care of that for your old pal Easy. 616-301-9516. All right. Let's see. Jimmy writes you can get the same education with $2.50 in late fees at the public library. All right. Nick says, good old Democrat programs penalize for working too hard. I don't know about that. I think that's one way of looking at it. I look at it as a number of Americans are getting health care that wouldn't have it otherwise. I think you're leaning too hard into this on a political level. Patrick says, this morning my dreams came true. I woke up and began rocking with the Toon Man. Megan says, I'm a huge fan of the later start time. Good. All right. So all in all, excellent weekend. Not so much for Michigan's new defensive coordinator. I shouldn't say defensive coordinator. That would be Wink Martindale. Michigan coach DUI. Greg Scruggs. Greg Scruggs, former pro football player, and the new defensive line coach for Michigan. This is ugly. This is really ugly. So Greg Scruggs has been with Michigan football since March 8th. He's only 33. Head coach of the Wolverines, Sharon Moore, says, I love Greg Scruggs. He's going to be our defensive line coach because, Harbaugh left, a bunch of other people left, whatever. By the way, Michigan got the running backs coach from Ohio State. I forgot his name because Mike Hart left. Word on the street was Mike Hart was butthurt because he didn't get the head coaching gig. God, I can't talk. Anyway, Michigan makes this dude the defensive line coach. All is good, He has made his mark on the state of Michigan already because he's got the thirst and he got shit-faced. This isn't a Dewey. This is an owie. He got an operating while intoxicated. Not driving under the influence. He's drunk. He's shit-faced. He was arrested for an OWI on, I believe, let's see, within the last handful. Saturday afternoon. He's driving around drunk on Saturday afternoon. Sharon Moore said Greg made an unfortunate mistake. Let's stop there and analyze those words. Greg made an unfortunate mistake. A mistake is, see my phone? I just dropped it. That was a mistake. This is not a mistake. You can call it whatever you want, but the one thing you can't call this is a mistake. Oops, I made a mistake. Because to me, mistake is inadvertent. He made a decision. That's what Greg Scruggs did. He made a decision to become intoxicated and then get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle while intoxicated. So I think Sharon Moore should amend that and say Greg Scruggs made the decision to drive drunk. This is what it should say, because this is what he originally wrote. Greg made an unfortunate mistake and was arrested for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. What it should say is Greg made the decision to drive drunk and thankfully was arrested before he hurt someone or killed someone or himself. Sharon Moore continues. He made no excuses and has taken accountability for his actions. The football program and athletic department have suspended Greg Scruggs indefinitely while we review details of the incident. Now, you might be able to get away with saying it was a mistake when it's your first. But that ship has sailed. This asshole has been taking everyone's life, putting everyone's life in jeopardy wherever he is. He got popped 11 years ago for driving under the influence when he played for the Seattle Seahawks. He pleaded down to reckless driving after, and when he was a football player at the University of Louisville, he was arrested on a DWI in 2011 and dismissed from the team before the bowl game. So this guy has had bad things happen to him in his life, and he's so thick-skulled, he can't, turn it around. So here he is now, 33 years old. He's less than 10 days into his best gig he's had, the defensive line coach for Michigan, the national championship winner. And this fuckface is already behaving like a moron. Wow. That is ugly. Tofus says he really likes drinking and driving. The Ben Glaze is here. He says Anthony Bellino, who is a Michigan fan, says he should be fired. Jimmy writes, getting stopped by a cop when drinking is the worst feeling ever. I suspect it may have happened. But that's true, though. I've been hammered and been driving before. Thank God I stopped drinking, which will be, God, how many years ago was that? It'll be 28 years this year. Good God. All right. Thoughts and prayers to our big buddy Doug from Bosco's. Doug was hurt. He had an injury sustained to him. I guess I don't want to say what the hell happened, but he is he's nursing some injuries. He is pretty banged up. He's going to be okay. But my friends over at Bosco said, EZ, we might need you this week. First thing I thought about was when Diana said, Eric, you got to start saying no. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Now, I don't know if necessarily I'm going to be there today or maybe tomorrow, but definitely later in the week. I'll be helping those folks out at Bosco's. Tyler said, did he fall off another table? No, that was Dougie Jr. who did that. And it was the bench seat. That was incredible. Legendary moment. Legendary. Okay. I don't know if you heard this story, but there's a lot of people reacting to New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers when it was revealed that Rodgers at one point felt that the Sandy Hook massacre, he's one of these Sandy Hook deniers. Alex Jones did that, made up some fairy tale that Sandy Hook didn't happen, and it was actors who did it. It was some wild-ass point of view that, nowadays, if you say something like that online, you run the risk of people actually believing you. It was a CNN report saying that Aaron Rodgers had voiced those conspiracy theories in private exchanges regarding the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting that claimed the lives of 20 children and 6 adults. This article says that the fallout continues. It's just too bad that he has enough juice that the NFL just doesn't forget about him. He's got enough skill, even though he's coming off of a bad injury, that he keeps a job. Because let me just say this. If there is anyone in the audience who has a feeling that Sandy Hook didn't happen, or that 9/11 was an inside job, or that the earth is flat and that shit, I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you, and I wish to never hear from you. You wouldn't break my heart if you stopped listening. If there are any of you on Patreon, unsubscribe, please. If you believe that the earth is flat, that Sandy Hook, any of those, Sandy Hook was not real, that 9/11 planes didn't fly into buildings by madmen from the Middle East, I don't want to know you, okay? The Jets quarterback found himself at the center of controversy once again after it was alleged he questioned the validity of the tragedy in conversations, including one with CNN's Pamela Brown at the Kentucky Derby in 2013. If you are in the presence of someone who says, quote, I find it interesting that, ... If anybody you know uses that type of phrasing before they give you the ... portion, they're crazy. Yeah, I find it interesting that that's code for I don't believe that. And you don't want to be around that type of asshole. Charles Barkley spoke about this. This is I think it's Charles Barkley on some type of talk show. And I guess they fell onto that topic. And I flat out love Charles Barkley. He always has, he always keeps it real, if you will. I don't even know if I can get to this. All right, I'll have to come. You know what I'm going to do? I'll play the audio of it because I'm struggling to actually get the video. But we don't need the video. We just have the audio. This is Charles Barkley.
CNN. Aaron Rodgers has also been a very noted vaccinator. It was reported on Jake Tapper's show, that he also had conspiracy theories about Sandy Hook. Now, I feel very strongly about that. Sandy Hook, the school shooting in Connecticut, in Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut. Several children died, 26 people, 20 of them children. They were little 6-year-olds, 6-year-olds, still had their baby teeth. The fact that he could say he's told people, this is according to reporting earlier this evening, that he thought it was a government inside job and that those children were actors.
That's insane.
I think it's insane. And I also think, Charles, it's so painful and so hurtful. I interviewed many of those families. There is no way anybody could believe that they were actors. And I hope that's not how Aaron feels today. But the fact that he even said that back then, I think is very troubling.
Yeah, I think that other fool, Alex
Jones, yes.
Lost some money.
Lost some money. He lost billions.
First of all, that is just, it's crazy.
Yes.
And anybody who thinks that, you hope nobody ever thinks that.
Yes.
And it's just painful for the parents.
And that's all I could think about is the pain that it causes.
But anybody who think that, I would think they would be insane. I'm not going to lie. You have to be insane to think that.
And for the record, Aaron Rodgers declined comment tonight, which also says to me,
what a pussy.
If somebody said that about me and I hadn't said anything like that.
Well, I bet he did decline.
We have another conspiracy theory, too. We're talking about drama and powerful families and those dynamics. Well, the story that has a lot of conspiracy theories.
All right, they're moving on to the next topic. I wish they would have beat up Aaron Rodgers a whole lot more. What a gutless asshole. Chris laughs at Charles, says, that other fool. I love the way Charles talks. But they're right. The fact that they reach out to him and he has no comment. Well, you got to have a comment. Because if you didn't say that, and you say no comment, that's crazy. If someone said that about me, like what Gayle King was about to say there, and yeah, Eric Zane made that shit up, I would be all over it, fighting hard to convince you otherwise. Unless, of course, I really said it. Because if I say, well, I have no comment, I don't want to get on. If I did say it, I don't want to get on there and say I didn't, because odds are somebody's got footage of me actually saying, yeah, those were actors. Oh, my God. So essentially, by saying nothing, you have said, yes, that's what I said. I'm an asshole. I hate that guy. Blue State Rob says, I went to college with someone who went to school with googly eyes Adam Lanza. I guess that's the guy who did the shooting. It's not a conspiracy theory. Yeah, we know. There's nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks it's a conspiracy theory. And I'm just here to tell you that if you do, I hate you. I don't want you to be part of what we do here. Okay? Go to hell. Go to hell, Aaron Rodgers. Fuck off and die. I mean, it was bad enough during the pandemic, all that bullshit he put everybody through. Okay? Lying to everybody. Yeah, I'm immunized, you piece of shit. Tophus says it's like pleading the fifth. You know you're guilty if you plead the fifth. Tyler says, I cannot stand that fucker. Fingers crossed for a full-on Theismann-like injury. Yeah, I want the other, what do you call it? Achilles to go first play, first drive next year. Okay, if you got here late, I'm actually going to do today's show in two parts. Because the idea is that there's a staff meeting for the radio station. And, I haven't yet found a workaround for it because I just started. I mean, it's first goddamn week. So I'm going to sit back for 30 minutes and enjoy the fantastic staff meeting on Zoom. And then I'm going to come back here with you and finish this damn show. Okay? Before I do, though, thank you to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. When you're ready to get started on your mortgage, reach out to the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505 today. Get after it and get started because the rates are falling and it's time to start looking for that house. Call Mario no matter where you are in the U.S., and please mention my name. Grand Rapids Gold, 3 games remaining. Check the schedule, and I'll see you at the basketball game. GrandRapidsGold.com. We had Isaiah Thomas, the NBA player. He's trying to get back to the NBA. I've never seen a guy who's 35 years old but looks like he's 21. He was absolutely, lights out playing for the Salt Lake City Stars. The Gold are back at it very soon. Go to the schedule at grandrapidsgold.com. Get some tickets. We've got a paintball war coming up on April 28th. That is paintball war number 24, the April Assault at TC Paintball. I want to see as many of you as I possibly can, both the old guard and new people. Plan ahead. That is on a Sunday. We'll be playing outdoors at TC Paintball. Green Medicine Shop had an outstanding St. Patty's Day, Flying Laptop Day, my dad's birthday day yesterday. When it comes to purchasing cannabis, I'm asking you to go to the Green Medicine Shop in Greenville, Michigan. Medicinal grade cannabis is much cleaner, less yeast, less mold than recreational. Easy. Why would I bother? I've got a recreational place right around the corner. Well, first of all, that reason. Second of all, no 10% excise tax. Third of all, it's my sponsor, and I want you to support my sponsor. Please, please, please. And they make it so easy for you. If you don't have a medical card, you need one to buy. Go to their website, thegreenmedicineshop.com. Fill out the form. In 15 minutes, you'll have your card. It's going to cost you $90, and then you get that back. When you go into the store, you got your medical card now. They give you a $100 in-store credit if you get your med card through their website, thegreenmedicineshop.com. Part 1 of this show is in the books. I'll be back at 11:30 for part 2. Thank you so much for your patience as I get used to my new friends on the radio. More of Easy to Love. I'll talk to you then. Take a break. Enjoy the start of your lunch. And I'll be back with more. By the way, for the audio podcast listeners, I'm just going to combine these two. And you won't even be able to tell that there was any time lost. Hello, back. Welcome into part 2 of the Eric Zane Show Podcast, Monday the 18th in the Impact Power Sports Studio. Thank you for being here. I think everybody's here, right? It's time to start. Is this working? Is there like no one here? What the hell? My God. I think it's working. Yes, Chris is here. She's like, yes, I'm here, Easy. It's tournament time. So, the basketball thing. Every year, I become less knowledgeable about college basketball. I think I have that group that I don't even know where it is. I think I might have to make a new one. No, Rob sent it to me. I will be doing that again this year where we fill out the bracket. I know it's working, but it doesn't seem to be working right here. I know actually more about the women's tournament than I do the men's tournament. Well, I don't know anything about the men's tournament. I couldn't name one male college basketball player right now. I can name one female. I don't know if I can remember her name. Oh, it's that one chick from Iowa. She every time she shoots a ball, it's a 3-pointer. I don't know how the hell she does it. What is her name again? Caitlin Clark. That's it. She's unbelievable, and everybody loves her. Just finished up the big staff meeting at Q100. All is well. I'm part of a team, and I feel out of place. Linda says she's angry that she even knows her name. I don't know why that would be a problem. Why would you be angry that you know her name? She's fantastic. Nick says, how was the air check? This was not an air check. An air check is when you sit down with the program director and they play the audio of your show and they go, all right, you could have done this better. And it's bullshit. I don't think they do that there. That would be something because, honestly, I am, in the 10 years that Q100 has been on the air, I am only the third person with actual broadcasting experience to work at the radio station. So that would be something if they said, let's sit down and we're gonna tell you how to do things. I'm like, that's bullshit. There's no way you possibly can. Linda says she does not give a crap about women's basketball. I actually like it. And the reason why I like it is because it got a little feisty last year. There was some little blonde who had like these pigtails. I remember the pigtails, these long pigtails, and she was badass. And then you got that coach, Kim Mulkey is her name. She's kind of like really extravagant dresser and just kind of a hothead, and she yells at all the reporters. And then, so she's cool. And then you got that chick from LSU because Iowa lost. Caitlin Clark lost. And so the LSU chick was taunting her to her face. It's like, oh, my God, it's fantastic. Bob says, yeah, nobody cares about women's college basketball. I disagree. You're full of shit. Both of you are wrong. There's a lot of people that love women's college basketball. I think there's more interest in the women's college basketball game than there is women's pro basketball, frankly. I don't know why you guys hate women so much. The women's game is badass. Shut up. Why am I defending women's college basketball to a woman? It makes no sense to me. So I don't know if you saw this in Saudi Arabia. They were making a big deal about a AI robot gropes female reporter during film demo. The one in the middle there that looks AI-y. There's like an AI woman with a headgear, reporter in blue suit, AI dude named Muhammad. Look it grabs her ass. She can't believe it that the thing grabbed. There's Muhammad, the AI robot, trying to finger blast her right in the asshole. And she's like, hey, back off. She raised her hand to the AI Saudi guy, who I'm surprised didn't start to beat her ass. Because isn't that what they do in Saudi Arabia? I'm surprised she's even allowed to be there as a reporter. Chris says an AI dude named Muhammad. Uh-oh. Yeah, they actually did call the guy Muhammad. Name Muhammad, Saudi Arabia's first humanoid male robot. By the way, the way that looked, it looked like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic movement. I am so not sold on any of this shit. I mean, if it's going to move like that, who gives a shit? The Saudi robotics company unveiled a male humanoid robot. Didn't go as planned. Grabbed the ass. Muhammad, the humanoid robot. The robot spoke Arabic and English. I think the best thing we have going right now about concerning AI is that you can train somebody's voice right onto it and then create it. I know that Ryan did some AIEZ on Friday, which I tried to download that and I couldn't get the damn thing to play. By the way, Ryan's article that he wrote, I'm pretty sure it was Ryan, on the he posted it on the subreddit, and then I posted it on Facebook. It was very, very funny. I cannot believe how well you write. You are like a very entertaining writer. I'll just say that. Okay, this next story is just horrible. There was a author in Mount Pleasant who was reading books to the pre-K class. He was invited in as a guest. His name is Dominic, and he was invited in by the school to read like a book. He just reading to the class. It's like a children's story time hour. Nothing strange about it. It wasn't like anything more than just, here's local author Dominic, who's going to read a book. It might even have been a book that he had written. And this was at a Catholic school, St. Joseph the Worker. And the pastor of this school/church spoke out because he found out that this author was gay. And he lost his shit, and now it's become really, really horrible. Check this out.
To a classroom to share the joy and love that I have for what I created, and to share that with...
Okay, this is one of his... It's just a simple story about, like, whatever, dog and a cat living together. Who knows?
Other people. And why my sexuality has anything to do with that.
I mean, it wasn't like he was reading the book and all of a sudden, you know, there's like a 69 going on. It was a true children's story. His sexuality shouldn't even have been an issue. No one even knew the guy was gay.
Anything. And it makes me mad.
A local author in Beale City near Mount Pleasant says he is surprised to find himself at the center of controversy. He was invited to read one of his books to a pre-K class at that private Catholic school. A week later, the pastor at this church issues a public apology, although it wasn't the content of the book he had an issue with. It was the person reading.
For a second, he made me want to stop.
He's talking all like that because he's weeping. The guy's actually crying.
I didn't want to do it.
Aww.
Anymore.
He's calling it one of the worst days of his life. But it didn't start out that way.
It went amazing. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun.
Dominic Thrasher grew up in Beale City and made the transition from acting to writing during the pandemic.
There's the book, The Adventures of Cece and the Sheriff. Okay? I mean, it couldn't be more fun.
Pandemic.
He's like, hey, I wrote this book, kids, and now I'm going to read it to you. And I was like, yay. And then this pastor goes in and says, fuck you. You're one of the gays.
Always wanted to. I just was scared to, start.
He's written a series of books now called The Adventures of Cece and the Sheriff.
Sheriff is my dog, and Cece is my sister's dog. They were playing in the room when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to write about, and it just went from there.
For National Reading Month in March, Dominic was invited by his friend to read his very first book to her pre-K class at St. Joseph the Worker School.
The kids were so excited, and I actually ended up staying there for snack time too.
A week later,
stay there for snack time.
He came across a Facebook post from the church connected to the school. Now, Fox 17 hasn't seen it. The post and page don't come up when we search for them, but Dominic sent us this screenshot before.
Because the internet's written in ink. So I'm going to read it. Dear school parents and all parishioners of St. Joseph the Worker, recently a guest who does not represent the values of our Catholic faith read to our pre-K children as part of our March is Reading Month activities. To my knowledge, the book and any related conversation was appropriate for our students. A St. Joseph teacher was present in the room at all times. I was unaware that the guests had been invited. As your pastor, I will see to it that a new vetting policy is put in place in order to minimize anything of the sort from happening again in the future. Thank you for your fidelity to the faith. Father Tom Held, pastor of St. Joseph the Worker Church. Well, how terrible is that? Ugh.
Before they went away. It says, a guest who does not represent the values of our Catholic faith read to our children. Although the book and any related conversation was appropriate.
I wish I hadn't read it because this guy's reading
for
it.
our students. I will put that a new policy in place. Signed.
Angers me.
Oh.
What he said, the way he made me feel like I'm a predator or like a convict or something coming into the school.
Dominic says this isn't the first time his sexuality has been an issue for others.
12 years ago, I was asked to give this commencement speech at my alma mater, a private Catholic school. And then once I found out I was gay, I was disinvited to give the commencement speech because being gay, I don't know, I'm going to ruin people or something.
Dominic thought life had already thrown enough obstacles his way.
I was diagnosed with ALS a year ago. I don't have a lot of time.
Oh, fuck me. This thing keeps getting worse. This poor son of a bitch has got ALS. That must be, I think starting to manifest in a way that's affecting his speech, obviously. Holy shit, this poor son of a bitch.
So I just want to share my gifts and my love to the world.
But just like the message you'll find in his book,
giving happiness and joy to others is better than any toy you could ever own.
Dominic wants this story to have a happy ending.
But I had a friend yesterday say, you know, Dominic, you were born to make waves. And I go, you know, if I'm the person that has to represent so many people out there like myself, I will do it. I will fight to the end.
Dominic made his desires clear. He wants the pastor to be removed from the church. We did reach out to the church. We reached out to the school through email, through phone. We also showed up in person to knock on their doors, and so far, no one has been willing to comment. We also tried to connect with the Diocese of Saginaw, of which the church is a part of, and we are told someone should be getting back to me at some point. That has yet to happen. In Beale City, Max Goldwasser, Fox 17 News.
This might be one of the most awful things I've heard in a long time. Holy shit. Oh. If you're that priest, I mean, this is some serious heat. Tophus writes, if Trump gets in office, that priest will be his vice president. Tophus says, another Christian who hates someone for their sexuality. Chris says, not even a controversial book, just a kid's book. CC and the sheriff. And then this poor dude is he's going to die. ALS is just a nightmare. Amy says nothing more Christian than persecuting someone for not being exactly the way they think, feel, and live. Ugh. So bad. Wow. Tyler says, can you imagine if that pastor ended up getting busted as yet another pedo in the church system? Yeah, this is ugly. You know, truth be told, if the Catholic Church was worth anything, and they're really not, it's just horrible. The guy would be defrocked. You know, he wouldn't be able to be allowed to. Think about that. You know, this guy's leading a church. He's offering spiritual advice to people. He's a leader in that respective community. And, you know, unless something's done, the only thing that should happen is he should not be allowed to do that. You know, give him an administrative job or some shit. That is fucking gruesome. A gruesome story. And then that poor guy, you know, doesn't have much time. Probably to be able to take something as sweet as that, reading a nice children's book to little kids, and some adult has to go and fuck it all up in that regard is just one of the worst things I've heard. What is his name again? I don't know. The author is Dominic Thrasher. The church is St. Joseph the Worker in Beale City, if that's what you're looking for. But that's just hideous. Makes me feel that much more happy with the decision to leave organized religion. I shouldn't even say leave organized religion, because there's some other churches that I want to try out that are kind of in our wheelhouse that we think we could go to. But Yeah, after Madison said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gay." I had been thinking about this for a couple years before. I'd been like, "Boy, this is really fucked up here. I don't know if I'm comfortable with this, with the way the church is." And then Madison was the icing on the cake. But I don't know. Just for me personally, I'm not saying I don't judge anybody that still goes to a goddamn Catholic church or any church for that matter. Again, I stay in my own lane. I only worry about me. If you go to a church, I'm not going to judge you. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. That is, I don't have the time to waste on nonsense like that about how other people live. But fuck that. God damn. All right. Moving on. Joe Biden. Oh, no. You've heard about Joe Biden, and we've talked many times about the possibility that he might be doing this all against his will. There's been more than one time that Joe Biden has been talking to people, and whenever he tries to take some questions, like somebody ushers him away, or they decide, no, we're not taking any questions. He's even said a couple of times, they get mad at me when I take questions. And so it couldn't be more obvious that they don't want him to take questions because either he's so bad at it or he just can't because he gets himself into trouble when he's talking.
Anyway, am I allowed to take any questions?
Am I allowed to take any questions? Joe Biden, the leader of the free world, turns around and says to one of the other people that are associated with him and how he presents when he's talking to people, says, am I allowed to take questions? What the hell?
Anyway, am I allowed to take any questions? Anybody here at staff? Anyway, am I allowed to take any questions?
President Biden has permission. Now, you could probably say that he might have just been joking there. A Biden staffer quickly interjected, "Thank you, press," before the camera feed covering the event cut out. This was during the New Hampshire Democratic headquarters visit in Manchester. Campaign trip. Not the first time that that this has happened. He frequently says he will, quote, get in trouble for answering unauthorized questions and uses note cards with prepared statements from hand-picked reporters. Ugh. That is a little bit disturbing to me, and it has to be of great concern, in my opinion. I think that it should be required, like the law, that he does do that for entertainment purposes only. Maureen says maybe he asked due to time constraints. I guess so. I want to give him benefit of the doubt on that. It's just a little weird. Tofus says, I'm going to bet that this is going to be taken out of context. Tofus says, who reported that? That was on the New York Post. So take it with a grain of salt. Jesus, I sound like Biden now. But I have seen that many times. And the amount of time that he doesn't answer questions, and when he does, he gets in the weeds. And the amount of times that I've heard him say, am I allowed to do this? Or they get mad at me when I ask questions. I still firmly believe that he is not of sound mind. Yeah, the New York Post can fuck off. Well, okay then. All right. We have a Another member of the Crumbly family who is going to prison. This time, James Crumbly. How incredible is this? Just 3 years ago, the Crumbly family was enjoying their lives, being oblivious to the fact that their kid was crazy and a fucking idiot. James Crumbly was convicted of manslaughter. He's going to go to prison along with the mom. The kid's in there for life. These are the first parents to ever be charged in the United States in a mass school shooting. The long history of this story, it's unbelievable to me that it even happened. You've got this kid deranged writing notes about voices in his head. It all culminated with a meeting with the counselor while the kid had the gun that mom and dad bought for him, taught him how to use it, even though he's batshit crazy. And they're like, we have no idea. We have no idea. My God. And then him writing that he wants to go and shoot the pretty and the handsome kids in the school, which he did. After they brought him into the counselor's office with mom and dad there, gun in the backpack, nobody takes him out of school despite him drawing on the homework assignment in the classroom or whatever the fuck it is, of him doing what he was about to do. This is the most ridiculous falling through the cracks example that I think, when people say, no, I can't believe that this even happened. No, I absolutely can believe this happened. So dad was convicted, and he will now go up the river for extended time. The whole family locked away. Jesus. The jury in suburban Detroit actually had a pretty quick turnaround on this, and James Crumbly was found guilty of being, I guess, of that manslaughter charge, and will now will probably spend a long, long time behind bars. I think mom got 20 years, so it remains to be seen how long dad is going to get. But this is just in the end of an ugly, ugly chapter. I cannot even believe that happened. How all of that kind of just unfolded in front of everybody's eyes with all these obvious signs that there was trouble. Absolutely terrible. All right, how about the one where the lady, jailed Ohio woman, explains why she drove dead man's body to the bank to withdraw cash? Karen Kasbaum. Fucking A. An Ohio woman accused of stealing money from a dead man has reportedly told her family why she committed the crime. Fox 8's I-Team obtained audio that allegedly showed Karen Kasbaum speaking to a relative on a recorded line from an Ohio jail about her involvement in the death of 80-year-old Douglas Lehman, as well as the events that followed. So I guess she was like admitting to what went down on the recorded line. This is the woman who took dead guy who she was supposed to be taking care of. The guy died. And she put him like in the car, Weekend at Bernie's style, and then went to the bank to try to get money out of that guy's account. And I'm trying to figure out how she would expect this all to work if the guy's in the car and dead. Audio check, video check. Let us begin.
Karen, is there anything you'd like to say? Lorraine, is there anything you'd like to say about the case? Or what happened, or why you took him to the bank?
Lorraine Ferrillo and Karen Kasbaum refused to answer our questions after their hearings in an Ashtabula Municipal Court Tuesday. The two are accused of taking a deceased man through a bank drive-through and withdrawing $900.
This matter was scheduled for a preliminary hearing.
The two are facing felony charges of gross abuse of a corpse and theft. The women appeared in court with their attorneys and waived their right to a preliminary hearing. The case will now be sent to the Ashtabula County Grand Jury to determine if they should be indicted. Police and prosecutors tell us that this case remains under
God, I guess Ohio's got B-team news. Jesus.
investigation, and it's possible that both women will face additional charges soon. Police say the women lived with the victim, Douglas Lehman, at his Ashtabula home. According to officers, the women found him dead inside the home but did not call police.
Look at these three. I mean, this chick, I think she's suffered from a closed head injury and fetal alcohol syndrome by the space of those eyes.
Or EMS. Instead, police tell us the women propped him up in the front seat of a car, withdrew the cash, and then dropped his body off at the hospital. While Cashbaum wouldn't talk to the I-Team, she had a lot to say when she called a relative from jail asking for bond money. The Fox 8 I-Team...
I don't understand why you brought the guy to the goddamn bank. So the dead guy is propped up and you bring him to the bank. I mean, it's not like, were they using his hands to like hit the PIN number?
Obtained that jail call, and you can hear her response when she was asked what happened.
He died coming out of the house, and Lori could not carry the body because I just figured I would go to the bank and then go to the hospital and drop him off. I just forgot to leave his name.
He died before you went to the bank, dude.
I know.
Cashbaum's daughter talked to us after court, and she tells us her mother has had issues with illegal drugs for several years.
Her drug abuse over the years has tremendously increased her infection status to where she can't walk. She hasn't been able to walk for several years now.
Family and friends of the victim
no.
say they want justice.
They need to rot in jail.
Everybody involved in this story is a goddamn minger. Look at her.
In Ashtabula, Peggy Gallick, Fox 8 I-Team.
Wow. That woman's probably like 21 years old, too, that we just saw. That is a ugly community. Jesus, that is one for the ages. Maureen says, I can hear the audio. Is it the dude's money? Of course it's his money. You can hear that, right? Amy says, oh, my God, I'm laughing out loud at work over Eric's descriptions of these poor people. Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's it's kind of like what moves the meter for your old pal EZ. Tyler says, the drive-through bank teller was concerned when she noticed the man's hand holding a cell phone with duct tape, that was duct taped to his head. All right. I guess Bob was having audio issues, but everybody else could hear it. Yeah, I don't know, buddy. All right. I want to share this one with you. Two guys who play basketball. Looks like some guy for the Raptors, some guy for the Orlando Magic. Both rookies. One of them's last name is Black. And the other guy's last name is Dick. They decided to trade jerseys and hold them up so that it said Black Dick on the TV camera. This is awesome. This is the greatest thing that's happened in the NBA this year, in my opinion.
Now when you hold a team under 100 points.
There you go. White guy's name is Dick. Last name is Dick. The black guy's last name is Black. So right now they're talking to each other. They're like, hey, you wanna do something funny? You give me your jersey and I'll give you my jersey. And we'll do a jersey swap, which you see from time to time. And we'll get pictures next to each other. Both very young.
Magic shooting over 50% as well. That's another good number to keep an eye on.
And now, guy with last name of Black, I don't know who he is. He's going up to the reporter saying, look, we're going to hold up our jerseys. It's going to say Black Dick. We want you to take a picture.
2-1 are the Magic when shooting 50% or better.
When you play the kind of defense the Magic do, if you're making shots, that's a winning combination.
Rookies, Anthony Black and Grady Dick. One from Arkansas, the other from Kansas. Exchanging jerseys.
These two are hilarious. So-and-so Black and so-and-so Dick are... and then the announcer. I mean, to see that and not bust out laughing because they don't acknowledge it. I mean... At least you got to say something like, oh, there we go. That's an all-timer. You have to. Come on. That is awesome. Oh, my God. That is just fantastic. Oh, I'm a fan. Excellent. All right. Apologies for the short show, but I'm kind of out of sorts today. This is a little bit of a learning curve with getting this done. But I do want to remind you as we get ready for the asshole of the day, and I don't even have any. Wait, oh no, I got an asshole of the day. I was going to say we didn't have one, but I actually do. But I got to go get, I got my marker too. How about that? I got my marker. That's awesome. First off, thank you to King's Room Barbershop. I got to get my hair cut again. 3 locations, Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street. Appreciate them for being part of the show. Get your hair cut at the King's Room Barbershop. They just signed up for another quarter of marketing online at kingsroom.net. Get your hair cut. All guys get your hair cut, and women who like short hair at King's Room Barbershop. Kingsroom.net. Frank Fuss can help you get into a life insurance policy. Frank Fuss at mypolicyshop.com. Go to buyinsurancehere.com. Right now, I'm going through the process of getting a new life insurance policy, and you can too. Buyinsurancehere.com with Frank Fuss. Make sure you specify that you heard about him from me. Love my friends at Impact Power Sports. Online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Shop in person or online. Well, when I say shop online, you're taking a look at what they have for sale. Motorcycles, side-by-sides, ATVs, UTVs, Yamaha motorcycles, even zero-turn radius lawn machines. You know, cut the grass with those fucking things. Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. And then finally, my Vouch store, vouch.store/Eric Zane. All sorts of products for you to check out there. Buy a product that is for sale on the Vouch store. Vouch combines creators with small business. Vouch.store/Eric Zane. All right. The asshole of the day today. Where is my placard? Hang on. Don't go anywhere. Asshole of the day today. This will be easy. Can you guess? This guy. Aaron Rodgers is the asshole of the day. He keeps outdoing himself. Congratulations. Well done. That is my time. I'll talk to you on the Patreon. You guys are a special group. Thank you for the patience and with the adjustments I'm making here on the show. I will talk to you down the road. Till next time, have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.